I have a confession to make. I am not really the biggest Garfield fan, to be honest, but I am also not an ignorant man. I've actually seen almost every single Garfield media that there is. My favorite ones were the comic strips, that used to always get in the newspapers or wherever comic strips were being sold and distributed like years ago, probably even decades ago when I was like a little kid, like age 6. I used to always read the Garfield comic strips. They used to be really good. Then I would also watch the Garfield TV shows on Cartoon Network, the one that was made, I think, in 2011 or 2010. That one was pretty boring, in my opinion. Every time, you would wake up on the weekdays, it would always air on like 11 a.m., 12 p.m. It was always pretty mid and mediocre, but as a kid, I didn't really care, to be honest, because it was entertainment in its own right. Then I would also watch the Garfield movies. In my opinion, their movies was hot ass. Their animated movies were a complete cluster of atrociousness, in my opinion. The only one I really kind of enjoyed was the superhero one. And you now go into the Garfield 2004 live action movie. And that one, despite a lot of critics not liking the movie, in my opinion, it served its purpose. It wasn't too bad, but it wasn't necessarily too good. And the reason why I had to say all of this brings me to 2024 when I heard that a Garfield animated movie was being made, and I wasn't really too excited about it, but I was like, let me see if this movie can be the first of Garfield projects since a long time, since possible decades, to get Garfield right. And I unfortunately have news to say, and that news is it doesn't really. The movie is pretty fine. It's like a mid movie, and the reason why I'm saying that is because it doesn't really feel like a Garfield's movie, because with Garfield, his main plot point is lasagna. He hates Mondays. His relationship with Odie and with John, and the Vito's pizzas, Normal the cat. That you could put Normal as his antagonist, in my opinion, but this movie, like, Odie and John felt like side characters. Odie especially felt like a big side character. It felt like a lot of the core Garfield like values and status quo was kind of pushed to the back in more favor of Garfield's deadbeat dad named Vic and the villain of the movie, Jinx, who's this, in my opinion, a morbidly obese cat, and she serves as the main antagonist. But Vic, like Garfield's dad, he's not too much of a bad character per se, because hearing Samuel L. Jackson's voice, because he plays such great characters. But in this, in my opinion, he just could not use his skills and his talent to save this role of Vic, because I did not care about Vic. I didn't care about his deadbeat dad story. I didn't care that, he left Garfield when Garfield was just a little kitten in like an alleyway. I didn't really care for that. And now Vic is this supposed like old criminal who has like a dark past, and now his return brings that upon Garfield. I don't really care for that. I only care about Garfield's lasagna adventures, Odie adventures, John adventures, Normal adventures, and Vito's Pizza's adventures. And like, it just seems that Garfield is just not fit to be a feature-length movie franchise. In my opinion, Garfield should just be like a kid show. It should just be a TV show or a comic strip. This movie felt like they were trying to do something instead of Garfield, but then I remembered, oh wait, we still have to do a Garfield movie, so they not just added Garfield's story into it, because they tried to do like some crime mafia childish story and added Garfield's real story to the back burner, and that, in my opinion, hurts the movie significantly, because you can see the Rotten Tomatoes, it's bad on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's like 57%. It's like pretty mid, not too bad in Rotten Tomatoes, but it's still not passing. You know what I mean? It's not a passing grade. On IMDb, is like 6 out of 10. In my opinion, this movie, it's decent. If you want to bring your kids to a movie this weekend or something like that, this movie, you could probably watch it, but I don't think your kids will want to go back though. But it's not a trash movie, but it's not a movie to write home. But that's the end of it. I'm out. Peace.